Mobile Elevating Work Platforms, MEWPs. Mobile Elevating Work Platforms are machines that allow the worker to reach their task where they will work from the platform, where workers can enter and exit the platform at the correct place. It will consist of at least one work platform with controls, an extended mechanism and a chassis. Movement. This equipment can include all or some of the following movements. Elevation. This movement lifts the work platform to a higher level. Direction. Circular movement of the extending structure around a vertical axis. Rotation. Circular movement of the work platform around a vertical axis. Lowering. Movement that takes the work platform to a lower level. Transport. Any chassis movement with the platform in transport position. Types of MEWPs. Known as MEWPs, there is a wide selection of equipment on offer, including self-propelled types, self-propelled booms or cherry pickers, articulated work platforms, vertical scissor lifts. Mounted on vehicle. All-terrain articulated work platforms. Conditions for the reception of equipment. Any MEWP manufactured after the 1st of January 1997 must have the following: Instruction Manual, Declaration of Conformity, CE marking, Characteristics plate, Load and reach charts, Danger and warning signs, Maintenance handbook. Operator requirements. The operator must be over 18 years old, medically fit, has received specific training in the use of the MEWP he is going to drive, and he should have the authorization from his employer to use the machinery. Driver requirements. Apart from the operator requirements, he will have a driving license that permits him to drive the vehicle mounted MEWP and the corresponding authorization. Use of IPEs, individual protection equipment. As an assessment of risks has to be carried out, the Risk Prevention Service will determine what IPE should be used. They generally include the following: hard hat, protective gloves, mechanical risks, personal harness, lifeline, professional safety footwear. Danger zones. The proximity of power lines with bare cables is a serious risk that has to be taken into consideration before work begins. Therefore, the need to limit the work area of the machine to prevent it reaching the minimum safety zone. If this is not possible, then additional safety measures have to be implemented. Limitations due to surroundings. When MEWPs propelled by engines are used in closed spaces, we must check that sufficient ventilation is available for the evacuation of exhaust gases. The ground over which the MEWP travels must be capable of withstanding its weight and be as level as possible with no uncompacted voids that would cause the equipment to sink. Forbidden operations. When a work point cannot be reached by the platform, no type of stool or ladder should be used. Any type of placards, boards or vinyl sheets is prohibited, as these increase the platform's wind resistance. MEWPs, articulated boom lifts or cherry pickers. In our case, the machine uses a thermal diesel engine that powers a hydraulic pump that transmits the energy to the different actuators, motors and cylinders via the corresponding circuits. Control positions. There are two control positions to manage this energy, one located at the platform and the other in the bucket or basket. The platform control position has an emergency stop, hour clock, command selection switch, transfer key, machine command mechanisms, jib articulated movement, telescopic, jib elevation, arm elevation, turntable rotation, diesel engine starter, accelerator, oil pressure indicator, oil temperature indicator, battery charge indicator, air filter blockage indicator, engine preheater indicator. Whilst at the bucket control position, there is an engine preheater indicator, emergency stop, movement controls, forwards, backwards, left, right. General control panel and indicators. Very slow, slow and fast indicator. Differential lock, starter motor, sound alarm. Bucket movement selector, articulated, rotation, compensation, arm up, down, jib up, down, telescopic, platform rotation, overload indicator, power on indicator at bucket. Components. Elevation arm and jib. Articulated components that control the positioning of the bucket height. Bucket or basket. A rectangular base is anchored to the bucket support, which in turn is fixed to the jib element. Wheels. There are two steering wheels and two driven wheels, all filled with polyurethane, which protects them against any possible punctures. Platform. The structure to which the lifting mechanism is attached. It rotates via a pinion and crown gear mounted onto the chassis. Chassis. Metallic structure that rests on the wheels and contains all the aforementioned components. Protection. The bucket is surrounded around its perimeter by anti-fall protection, made up by an upper guardrail, an intermediate guardrail, and a box or skirting board. At the entry zone, the intermediate element can slide over. As an added feature, the bucket has two anchoring points for the anti-fall device. Safety devices. These will shut down the engine automatically due to low oil pressure, high oil temperature, a blocked air filter, degree of inclination control, end of basket rotational travel, dead man's device, basket overload control, rotation blocking device when in transport position, turning control, not more than one turn in either direction, end of travel movements, articulated lift, jib, telescopic, warning signs. The manufacturer placed the following warning stickers or signs onto the machine: maximum load, maximum height above ground level, do not climb onto the platform, do not park under the bucket, danger of crushing, hands and fingers, danger of crushing, body, do not travel at high speeds on slopes, maximum weight on each wheel, red jib behind, supporting intermediate element prohibited, do not use structure for grounding when welding, do not clean with high pressure water jet, grease the rotational gear mechanism, power supply must be protected by a 30 mA differential circuit breaker, green jib in front, consult instruction manual, anchorage point for anti-fall device, use of equipment. Once we are familiarized with the equipment, we will proceed to use it. We will need two operators, one at the platform and the other in the bucket. The operators will then check the ground over which the MEWP will travel over and also the work to be carried out. The hydraulic oil and fuel levels will then be checked and also the rotation blocking device will be deactivated. We insert the control key. We unblock the emergency stop. We switch command to platform control position. Start the engine, increase revs and check following movements: platform direction, arm lifting motion, arm descending motion, jib upward movement, jib downward movement, telescopic movement, articulating jib movement. Check inclinometer. The platform operator puts the command switch to the bucket control position. The other operator will then get into the bucket wearing all the necessary IPEs. On entry into the bucket, he will immediately connect his anti-fall device to the anchorage points provided in the bucket. He will then disarm the emergency stop device, start up the machinery and check the following movements: forward, backwards, bucket rotation, articulated jib, articulated arms, telescopic movements. If everything has been checked satisfactorily, we can then continue with our work. We put the machine in travel mode and take it to the desired work position. When the work position has been reached, the operator chooses the best position for the equipment and then lifts the articulated lift to the desired position. After the work has been carried out, the articulated arms and jib are retracted and we return to base. On arrival, we park, we shut down the engine and remove the keys. Rescue maneuvers. These are carried out from the platform control position, and we are going to consider two possibilities. The bucket operator faints or the command system does not function properly. The operator at the platform control position switches the command to his position and brings down the bucket. The equipment has a mechanical fault. It does not respond either to controls from the bucket or from the platform level. The operator at the platform control position checks the fault and then, using the manual safety lever and opening the corresponding hydraulic circuit valve, brings the basket to ground level. Load check. The overload detector will be checked periodically. To that end, the bucket will be loaded with the maximum permitted load. The machine should function. Next, the bucket will be overloaded until it reaches 120% of its nominal load. The alarm will be set off and the equipment will be blocked.